Hello everyone, I'm Pep Traveri and I welcome you to this episode of Plus Plus Adventures. So basically, today's my last day of school, kind of. I still have to go through finals, but I finished off all my courses, and one of them was my solving problems with programming course, which is TC 1017, and of course I got my professor, Kenneth Bauer over here, who was giving us assessments and all these tasks so that we could learn how to program, and I already made a video about this and my opinions on the course, so I'm not gonna bore you with that all that much. So basically what my final project was with a partner, so you already know her. She's been on a video before in Plus Plus Adventures, and I've already linked you to her with no page, but she and I worked together along with another guy who helped us a lot. To make a Sudoku game. So basically, if I were to, for example, place here G++ sudoku.cpp, and then should work correctly. Yes, it does. And then /a.out, and of course I'm gonna have to input sudoku01.txt please, 1.txt. It goes like this: welcome to the game of Sudoku. So basically what this does, we have the standard libraries here. We have the string to, be able to input like commands or stuff, for example, print, write, erase, instructions, history, and restart or quit. If I want to print, it should print a Sudoku board. Now it has color-coded numbers right over here. These codes you can look up online. These are defined as functions over here. Purple will be this, pink will be this, cyan will be this, and end color, of course, to just return to the original value. So, constant int board size equals 9 because there's 9 spaces, and it should be, whenever there's an empty space, it should be placed as a 0. So, what then? Well, if we place instructions down here, there's some language discrepancies because Tania works in Spanish, I work in English usually. Most of the programs were written in English though, so yeah, I'm just gonna translate this. You have to choose a position in which there's an empty space, and then you have to, in which position you will have to place a number that follows that gets the following conditions. The number is between 1 and 9, or 1 and 9 respectively. The number will not be on the same line, nor the same column, not the same quadrant. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about Sudoku, which is just instructions on how to play Sudoku. Now, we used Boolean functions to verify if things were true or false, and we use this, for example, bool check original. So it checks everything on the original thing, and if this is true, then you will not be able to check this space, and this is what we use to avoid changing any of the purple values down here. So for example, if I was to write the row 1, column 1, you can't change, erase, or write in this space because this is an original number. So what about if I want to write on row 1 and the column 3, and then I can write any number I want, for example 4, and it does it. However, it will not show, it won't show over there. We have to print it again, and now there is a pink number 4 over here, so that's the code that we used in colors. Blue is for, or cyan rather, is for empty spaces, purple is for original values, and pink is for user input values. Then we have, you have this boolean structure over here to check the original so that these purple numbers can't be changed. Then we got of course, our values, our vectors to store all the values within. So there's one for each row, there's one for each column, and there's also ask number. This will be the one, this is just the number that you're gonna enter over here that will enter the vector if on row column. And basically what we're doing here is create a matrix. Within a row, we enter a value for the column, and that's how you enter a specific value over here in the matrix. So there you go, that's that. Then we create a zero board. This is just what we use to like fill all these empty spaces up until here, and just create a 9 by 9 structure. So yes, this populates the board from the contents of the file. The file must contain 9 lines with 9 values each line. The values must be either 0 for empty or values between 1 and 9. This means that the file name that I placed over here, here it is, sudoku01.txt, has to be saved on the same directory that you're saving the sudoku.cpp file. That way it can actually open it and it will load the original board like this, blah 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 blah, original numbers, and the rest will be filled off with zeros with the populate board from file thing. That is how you create the original values. So that's that. Then if then there's nothing else, or if the file is not over there, well, there's going to be something is wrong with the input file, and there is more lines, or there is less lines, or just it can't compute. So basically that's why we have this library over here, the fstream library, is to check if another file is open. So that's how you do. You also can use the algorithm library to change your string values into int values, which I think it's what we used to convert stuff. So then we're gonna skip a little bit from populate board, and we're gonna go to the boolean verify row, verify column, and verify square, because for each one of the rows you cannot place a number that has been already written over there. So of course, if I was to write over here on column 1 space 5, for example, I mean 4, if I wanted to write a 4, the number is already written in its row and column, because you can, over here there's a 4, and over here there's a 4. So it will check everything, and then it will tell you how it's repeating. But for example, if I intended to write in the same place just 1, 4, and I try to write a 5, it will also check for its square. So it's already written here in this row, but it's also written over here on its quadrant. So that's how we manage that. Apart from that, we can check 0. So if int a equals 0, so this is just gonna be this, the quantity of spaces. This one, not really all that important. Well, kind of. The function prints the board. Each cell is a 0 for empty or the value 1 to 9. Each cell is separated by space, no space at the end of row. This basically we changed a lot because this was part of a default file that our professor Kenneth Bauer gave to us, and it only printed like zeros. It only printed zeros, and maybe if you input the file, it would print some other numbers. But it just outputted zeros all over here. And we basically added these lines to separate each one of the quadrants. We also used these lines over here to separate each one of the... Oh my god, I did not mean to do that. Whoops. I'm gonna place right, and then it would do right. There you go, interval column. There you go. Right. For column 2, number 4. Thank you, and I'm gonna print that again. Sorry about that. Jesus. So yeah, this is pretty much just for the format of the board. We changed everything from here on out on this one function. We outputted the original numbers for purple. We inputted for cyan on the zeros, and pink for the user input values. So there you go, those were that. And then you got your main program goes here. This is what our professor gave to us. Int main, so of course this is your main program, and it uses a string file name to open up the the actual like board filling up spaces. This is all in a file in TextEdit that I have. So it's the same file Tania had, and the same file was given to us at the very beginning, I think, by Ken. So this is just gonna declare all the values that we're gonna need, and then we use a switch. Well, this I never actually explained this during my videos, but switch is another type of conditional. So in case 1, please provide the parameters to the program. You must enter a file name to initiate the Sudoku. So if for example, I quit here, and then I want to do that again, but instead of writing Sudoku 0.1.txt, I don't write anything. Well, then this is going to be the first thing to actually apply. And please provide the bird, you must enter a file name to initiate the Sudoku. This is just in case that this doesn't have any values. Create the zero board. Oh, sorry. Create zero board. It's gonna call the function populate board. Create the board. Create zero board populated with zeros and populate board from file. Just give it the original values. So there you go. Welcome to the game of Sudoku, which is what we get over here, and then we start doing everything else. String user choice equals nothing by now. Then we do a loop for this, and we see out what would you like to do: print, write, erase, instructions, history, restart, or quit. So then we enter that as a string that we're gonna place, and if that equals print, then you get the board, as I've already shown. If you choose to write, then you're gonna get asked the row, the column. It's gonna go ahead and verify everything, and if everything is verified correctly, then you can start writing. And after that, it's gonna verify again, so that you're not repeating your numbers. By the time you finish everything, it will see out, congratulations, you win. However, of course, if I try to do this right now, it's gonna take hours and hours, because that Sudoku is a mental game. I'm not gonna be able to just finish it out for you right now. However, if you choose erase, for example, and I'm gonna show that off right down here, erase, and I want to erase row 1, column 1. You can't change erase or write in this space because that is an original value. But if I do, for example, write, and that's a thing. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I apparently did not write like anything at all, not correctly, and it just made the program go haywire. So if I wanted to do this row 1, column 3, and I enter, I don't know, number 1, and then I want to what was it again? Yes, erase, and I wanted to erase that one. Well, of course, I'm gonna go 0, enter a value row 1, 1, and okay. I don't know, 1, 4, there you go. I would like to print the board, there you go, there's a number 1 over there, and then I want to erase, and I want to erase in row 1, column 3, and then I print the board again, and it's gonna be a 0 again. So you can do that just to erase the values that you already had. You can also just change them, I think. Let me check that out. If I place right, enter row 1, enter column 3, and enter number 4, and then I print it, and it should be just number 4. So you can change them, you can overwrite them, but if you just want to erase them because you don't know what other number you could like place over there, but you don't want the thing to stop you from placing the same number over at other places in the board, you can just erase it. Then we have I already showed the instructions, the print, the write, and the erase. So how about we play some history? And this is where I took care a little bit about the discrepancies in between languages, because, well, just this once. This well, we both worked. She worked in Spanish, I worked in English, and then, well, choose the language in which to read. If I input E, it's for Spanish, and then it will output the story of the Sudoku in Spanish, the Sudoku game. If I place history and then enter I for English, then it will output it in English. However, I still need to go through some of these little errors or mistakes rather in translation, because I basically just took everything, put it into a translator, and pasted it here, and then started like checking for mistakes, because I didn't really have all that much time to just finish this part. I want to do the same thing for the instructions, so when you get to see this, you'll probably see this in English as well, or with the same options for English and Spanish. And then there's this little thing over here that this is why I was telling you that I thought you could change these. It's not written down here, but if I write change, I can enter the same, for example, row 1, column 3, and I can change my number to, for example, an 8. This is just a different, the number's already, yeah. This is just a different way in which to, like, change values. You can just overwrite it or you can change it. There's no big difference, but here is, that's why we didn't like implement it over here. But if anyone wanted to just like write change, they can do that as well. And I think that's it. Yeah, if you place, well, I already did that, but for example, let me just write another number. Enter row 2, 2, and I want to write number 2. Just 2's, and I'm gonna print this, and now I have 2 values written over here. And if I write restart, well, let me print it again, and oh, there's no more values. It erased every single one of the user input values. So that's it. Well, this is what we did. This was developed over the course of 3.5 weeks. We had a lot of help from Tania's boyfriend, who already did this, but he was just over there as technical support. Tania and I did some research. We tried to, well, he actually helped us define these colors, and he actually helped us with the research on Boolean operationals because we did not know how to use them before this. So he was a big help, he was a lot of help, and he really helped us a lot. So thank you to Tania and her boyfriend for all their help, and of course we put a lot of time and we worked really hard on this. So if you liked it, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to look at this over at Github. It will be available for you to download, and that way you can play as well. You can also try to create your own Sudoku boards over like this over here. You can try to create your own ones. You can copy the ones from the newspapers or whatever, and it's just gonna be a very great time. So thanks for playing our game, have a great day, and thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next plus adventures sometime down the line. Goodbye, guys.